morning and welcome to the Debbie's Grill, where we delve into matters that concern the state or matters that interest to the state. Now, I find this very interesting. Prioritize LGBTQ plus bill like you did e-levy. Reverend Ntim Fordjour to Mahama. Reverend Ntim Fordjour, Member of Parliament for Asin South, is urging President John Mahama to prioritize the LGBTQ plus bill just like he did with the e-levy. So this was from a Member of Parliament for Asin South and also former Deputy Minister for Education. Now, people have been asking me this question. The question that keeps popping in the mind of people, this one, I'm not the one saying it, is he in the right position to tell the president the next step to take? Now, this is someone we know in the previous administration. And with the LGBTQ plus bill was brought into Parliament, and this bill was actually passed in Parliament, if I'm right, on the 28th February 2024 by the members of Parliament. And the same bill was presented to the then President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. But the bill was not signed. It wasn't signed. And there was silence everywhere. Nobody was talking about it. Nobody knew why the president, as at that time, didn't pass it into law. And I was told it was because orders from above. Orders from above, and these orders are not orders from the country. These orders are orders from our people that colonized us. People we claimed to be independent. People that we claim that we are independent and not going to rely on them. But at the end of the day, we've now become so dependent to the extent that they are now dictating to us what to do and what not to do. And LGBTQ, as we are all saying, we don't see this happening though, and I haven't seen some with my eyes or come across issues or news that have it that they've caught somewhere, some people doing it or something. But trust me, these things are going on in our schools unknowingly. Just take a break. If only these students will be sincere enough, most especially in the single-sex schools, the boys' schools, the girls' schools, go there. And if these teachers themselves and the students themselves will be open up or will open up to you, you will know what is going on the grounds. And I've come across similar situations on Facebook where a coach sodomized a young boy at the age of 7 years. And this guy has to struggle with his life to the extent that he did all he could to survive. But unfortunately, he went to meet our Creator. Imagine this bill was passed with these issues happening. This coach could have been arrested. But because we sent it to bill, we sent it to Parliament and we are considering, what if this bill is passed and then the people supporting us tell us they are not going to support us because we've refused to come to the realization that we are not independent but dependent. And this bill has remained stagnant with this issue popping up. Innocent boys who knows nothing being sodomized by old men, and this case gets to nowhere. And only for Reverend John Ntim Fordjour to come out telling the president that, see, Mr. President, although you've passed the e-levy, make sure you pass the LGBTQ plus bill. Now, I don't have a problem with that. President Mahama has to declare his stance and as well pass this bill. But my problem was, you were also part of the committee as at that time when the bill was brought into parliament. But you said nothing. We didn't see you pressuring the former president to pass the bill. Maybe you did and I didn't say it. So, in case he did and I didn't say it, please draw my attention to it. You never pressure the former president. Mr. President, you have to pass this bill because it's necessary. No, we didn't. You didn't as well. And now you are telling the current president that, see, you have to pass the bill. And as fast as you did to the e-levy. And Mr. President knows what to do. I mean, he is a listening president. And I'm sure this bill will be passed. Definitely, it will be passed. But the main problem, you kept quiet. You didn't talk. Were you afraid of the then president? Were you being intimidated as at that time? Excuse me. Was there padlock that was used to lock your utterances that made you kept quiet on this big matter, this big issue called LGBTQ plus I? And now that we have a new president putting in steps, putting in measures to ensure that things are right, this is the time the confidence is coming. This is the time, the energy, to tell the president of the next step to take. It's not bad. As I said, it's not bad. There is nothing wrong with it. But my only problem was that you kept quiet on this issue. After the bill was passed in parliament, you kept quiet. When the then former president didn't sign the bill to be passed into law. And these same people never cleared the air and told us the reason why this same bill that we see not to help the country and the people of this country, the reason why it wasn't being passed. And even some of the members of parliament in the then administration was even afraid to voice out that they are behind this bill called the LGBTQ plus I. And the energy is now coming up now. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. I think it's about time we have to be ashamed of ourselves and take certain things very seriously. We have to. And to Mr. President, please, this bill needs to be passed. It needs to be passed into a law. Because we don't see it. And this is not something that someone will come out outwardly to do it in public for you to see and arrest. Because it has already been frowned upon. But what we are saying is that this bill should be passed into law. Because a lot of innocent students, especially students, are falling as victims. And to Mr. Ntim Fordjour, well, some will say you are doing your best. But trust me, you are saying the right thing, but at the wrong time. Thank you for making time with me on the Biscuit.